Hello and welcome to this month's episode of CHEEMA Connect. My name is Jamie Phillip and I am joined by your friend and mine, none other than Harry CHEEMA. Say hello, Harry.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to CHEEMA Connect.
Thanks for making some time to join us on the program. We have a lot of topics to cover, a lot of maintenance-related topics to cover, so I'm excited to have you on the program. But before we jump into some meaty content, I want to remind our followers, number one, thanks for tuning in. Number two, don't forget to like and subscribe. That way you get informed when new CHEEMA content is available. Not just CHEEMA Connect, but all the great stuff we put out there, whether they be reels, whether they be training videos. In fact, check our library out. If you got a free minute, go to CHEEMA Connect on YouTube and take a look. We've got so many playlists with so many videos. We've been doing this for several years now, and we're pretty excited about the finished product we put out there to keep our drivers informed of what's going on here in CHEEMA Connect, including an episode like this. So let's jump right on in, and I want to tell you something, Harry. Do I look especially excited today?
You're very excited. Man, you got like a bunch, I don't know. How much coffee did you have today?
I've had about 2 cups and maybe an energy drink, but that's not the point.
2 cups only?
I'm more pumped than my normal level of pumped, and you know why that is?
Is it because of me?
Well, also because of you, but also because, did you know that TCA recognized CHEEMA Freight Lines as an elite fleet for 2025?
Heck yeah.
How does that make you feel?
That makes me feel great.
It makes me feel amazing. We have such an incredible team of drivers here, an incredible support staff, incredible shop and maintenance team, keeping our drivers running. And it's great to see a little bit of recognition from the world to shine a little light, a green light, if you will, on the amazing work that our teammates do. So yeah, congratulations, everybody. That includes all of us. 2025 TCA Elite Fleet. This is their inaugural class, by the way. So first time they put a class together, and we get to be amongst those recognized as an elite fleet by TCA. So congratulations, one and all. Since you're here and you spend a lot of time down in California, you get to see a little more often than someone like me the updates down at our terminal down there. I know they're making great progress, but what can you tell us about how things are coming along, where things are at, and if they've got like some sort of projected completion date?
I don't have an exact projected completion date yet, just because I don't want to get everybody excited, and then next thing you know, everybody points their fingers at me saying, "Hey, how come the terminal's
It's
undone?"
his
Right?
fault.
But no more mud. Mm-hmm. And guess what?
It's
been raining and stuff, so we're not tracking in mud. We're not, your trucks are not getting dirty inside, which is awesome. I could actually keep my car clean now.
Nice. Well, because for folks that haven't been here that long, it wasn't all paved. Not too long ago, there was a day where there wasn't all pavement, and now that is a thing of the past. Lake CHEEMA, a thing of the past.
Yeah, they used to call it Lake CHEEMA, and it's funny because if you guys miss Lake CHEEMA, you could just go to the back. We have these big retention ponds now. And the last time it rained, they were about 3/4 full. So just imagine if all that water would have been out in the yard, we would have been swimming in it, right? You just get your fishing reels out. But the main building has been started last week. They were working on the actual framework of the office building, which is going to be a 2-story building. Driver's lounge, showers, all the goodies. So, yeah, we're excited. Hopefully, completion date will be about the next 2.5 months, 3 months. Everybody should be, we'll have all of our driver managers back on site. So if you guys missed them, you guys could go visit them. Yeah.
And yeah, so thanks for everybody's patience during this project because it's been a long time coming, but we're pumped, and it's probably going to be mid-spring. And if it's not, don't come see Harry CHEEMA. If anybody's ever been involved in project improvements, we're kind of at the mercy of the city and project managers, et cetera, contractors and what have you.
Well, the materials too, right? You got to make sure everything comes in on time. Sometimes it doesn't. So we can't blame the truckers for that because it's not them.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's never the trucker's fault. But what you could think about is, we've got basically 3, if not 4 adjacent parcels all the way out to the light. They were basically gravel, compact dirt and gravel, now entirely paved. So not only have we taken a gravel lot and paved it, not only have we taken old structures and totally built new ones in their places, but we've also expanded truck and trailer parking 300%. It's quite the project. So pretty excited to celebrate that pretty soon this year.
And on top of that, I don't know if you've heard, but on that south lot where the parkings were straight and we had a lot of drivers complaining that it was hard to get in and out of there, those have been restriped and they're slanted now. So hopefully you guys will like those too.
Nice. Very good. Well, another exciting piece of information is that we have continued to invest in brand new equipment. We've got brand new trucks, hot and ready, like Little Caesars likes to say, hot and ready, coming at you this as early as March and April. We've got new trucks, which will mean we will focus our trade truck campaign to trade in the 2022s probably.
Yeah, it's going to be the 2022. So if you're in a 2022, you'll either get upgraded or you'll get put into a brand new truck. So just, keep your DM will let you know when we're ready to go. Yeah.
That's exciting. Something I think is important, and I'm glad that you're on the program to talk with this through me, is driver, and actually all humanity, but specifically for our driver force and our teammates, our support staff, health and wellness, right? Health and wellness. I know it's something that you're particularly passionate about. There's two facets of health and wellness I really wanted to bring up in this conversation and get your thoughts on. The first one is just general health. In the fall and in the winter months, typically flu and sickness go around. And so I want to talk about sickness, and then I also want to talk about the other side of health and wellness, was just about general fitness and health. But let's first talk about sickness. I myself have actually fallen sick at least once in the fall earlier this year, and I have noticed that is not only going around, but it's going around and around.
Well, it's been a lot worse this year than it has, in the past. And I heard actually allergies and flu has been the biggest thing this year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard, it was way higher than normal.
So some folks are getting sick, and then they're getting well, and then they're getting sick again. And that's miserable. Being sick once is enough for me. I hate being sick. I'm very active, and when I'm held down, that's just a grumpy JTP. You don't want to be around me when I'm sick, because I like to be doing, I like to be active, I like to be with my people. So I thought it'd be appropriate to talk about things that you can keep in mind, ways to maybe avoid contacting anything that might find you being sick or under the weather. Some things that I like to recommend, obviously avoiding unnecessary exposure. Right? So like anytime you're contacting foreign things with your hands, always washing, especially before a meal, because, if you're out there touching equipment, touching things that other people touch, you wash your hands before you feed yourself so that you're not putting those germs anywhere near your mouth or your eyes or your nose.
Well, wear gloves too, right? So if you're getting out of your truck and you're going to go put down your landing legs or unhook a trailer, put gloves on.
Absolutely.
Right? Keep the inside of your truck clean too.
That's right. Another good idea, stay hydrated. Water is your body's favorite thing in the whole wide world, so keep putting water into your body. If you're like me and you like the coffee, you're going to want to drink a little more water to make sure your body stays hydrated, because caffeine will do the opposite of hydrate you. It's going to dehydrate you. So if you're drinking a lot of caffeine beverages, all the more reason to drink that much more water. Another thing, rest. Adequate rest, which is probably a real challenge if you're an over-the-road truck driver. Make sure you're mindful of the type of sleep that you're getting and the time of day you're getting your sleep. Our bodies, whether you're aware of it or not, they love rhythm. They love consistency. And I know that's kind of contrary to the over-the-road truck driver lifestyle, but the best of your ability, if you can give it some regularity, some consistent sleep patterns, you'll get better sleep as a result of it. And sleep also, like water, will help you battle anything that's coming at you and will help you feel rested and ready for the day. You used to drive. You still have your CDL, Harry. And whether it was doing a truck recovery for CHEEMA Freight Lines, repositioning equipment, or when you had your own company prior, did you ever get sick while you're out over the road?
I've been sick a few times, actually.
How is that?
It's miserable. It's miserable. You're out on the road. You don't have you're not in the comfort of your own home. You can't go use the bathroom whenever you like. You can't go to sleep whenever you like. You got a load to deliver. I mean, we're not telling you guys to go and put yourself out there. I might have done it, unsafely a couple times, but, just because I had somewhere to be and, go deliver freight for my customer. Sometimes you end up pushing it a little long. I mean, if you guys do end up getting sick out on the road, just find a comfortable spot, find a truck stop.
Yeah. I think that's something important that the public, the general public, might miss is that like this invisible driver world that just happens to magically deliver freight every time they need freight restocked at their shelves at their favorite stores. These guys are human beings too, and they're out over the road for days at a time. And just like you and I, they're going to be susceptible to getting sick. And when they are sick, it's not just as easy as I got to call out or I can just stay home, or if I need to go home early today, just tell my boss. You're stuck inside of the cab of a truck, no restroom facility, so you have to go find a restroom at a truck stop, at a rest area, or wherever you might find yourself. And it's just probably a little less comfortable place to rest than your bed at home, right? And so far more challenging.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're better off sometimes at a truck stop if you actually are sick. There's people there. You go inside if you really need help. The rest area sometimes are pretty lonely and out in the middle of nowhere. So just finding some kind of help there is an issue too. And we've had guys that, especially during COVID, had guys that got sick and we had to leave them in the truck for 7-8 days because there were no contact, right?
Yeah.
But the truck stops actually helped them. Let them go take a shower and let them in the back door or whatever they did. So
Yeah.
just keep those things in mind, and also food, right? Eating the right types of food on the road.
Yep.
If you're eating, canned food every single day, and it's probably not very healthy for you, right? So make some better decisions. You got guys with, you guys got inverters in your truck, so they work. Air fry some chicken or something. Eat a salad. Not everybody likes salads, but sometimes that's what we got to do.
That's a great segue, Harry, because I want to talk both about avoiding sickness, but also about your general physical health. Talking about being active, talking about making good choices on what you put in your body, like food. It's tough. It's tough as an over-the-road driver because, the truck stops they're getting better. I've seen them make efforts to improve this on menu offerings. But by and large, it's just far easier to find a cheeseburger and a thing of fries and a milkshake. And so you really have to be intentional. And some of that has to do with making good choices. But also, a lot of our drivers have shared their best practices with us, doing meal prep before they leave the house, right? They're home for their 34, their weekend off. And before they leave, they've got their air fryer or whatever they need. They've got their food. Some of it they prepared at home, and so they got quick, ready meals that they can eat to make them healthier and not be like, oh no, I'm panicking, I better just go out and buy this $5 cheeseburger or whatever the case may be. So that is one way that you can help yourselves. Also, being active. I know you love to be active. I don't know if you could tell by the coat he's wearing. This guy's got some mighty pythons under there, so I know you got a regiment.
I'm getting active again.
Yeah?
I used to be very active. But.
So here's some things I thought, and maybe you can add on to this conversation. But when it comes to truck drivers, like physical health, I've talked to a lot of drivers about, maybe intentionally, purposefully parking a little bit farther out when you're at that truck stop, kind of tricking yourself or forcing yourself to walk a little bit farther because A, that protects your equipment from higher traffic areas, and B, you're getting a little bit more exercise as you're walking to and from where you're headed to, getting more steps in, if you will. Another trick or another habit drivers have shared with me is just doing walking laps around the truck and trailer, right? You're going to be doing it anyway. So if you're going to be doing your pre-trip or your post-trip inspection around the truck, maybe add a couple, 2, 3, 4 laps and just get a little bit more steps in during your day. At the beginning of the day, pre-trip, and at the end of your day, post-trip, when you're letting some equipment, change.
What about intra-trip?
Intra-trip, also opportunities. The opportunities abound if you take advantage of them.
Your 30-minute break, right? At least for me, a 30-minute break sometimes is way too long. You're twiddling your fingers, especially when you're trying to get somewhere, deliver a load. But we have to take it. But what can we do on that 30-minute break? Go run inside, use the restroom, whatever you need to do, and get back out. Be active for that 30-minute break, even if it's 15 minutes out of that break. Every single step helps. Otherwise you're kind of locked into the chair like I am right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're just, you're sitting steady, and the only exercise you're probably getting is your arms and your feet probably, right?
Yep.
And maybe a little bit of rotation of your head, but yeah.
You got to find places to put it. So what I would recommend to you is, find ways to get more steps into your day. Another calisthenic that I've recently reintroduced to my fitness regime is push-ups. And the reason why I like push-ups is two or maybe threefold. Number one, you don't need special equipment to do them. You can do them anytime you have a surface. Number two, you can do them gradually. If you're not able to do a full push-up with your own body weight, you could do a modified push-up. You could do what some people commonly call a ladies push-up, where they actually bend the knee, and so they've kind of shortened the distance. Or you could do an inclined push-up where you use like a countertop, and then you could build. So you could do more repetitions.
How about the step of your truck?
Yeah, you could use the step of your truck for that.
While standing up, right?
Yeah, and what's great about that is it not only builds arm and shoulder definition, but it also addresses your core. And again, you don't need any special equipment to do that. So just a couple things to throw in your toolbox when you think about things that you could do for fitness and wellness. We care about you guys. We want to make sure that we all are thinking about taking the best care of ourselves as humanly possible. So what's your current routine? You said you're just getting back on the wagon, getting back into fitness?
Yeah. So,
you got a gym membership, right?
Yeah, I got a gym membership. I actually have a gym at the house that I never use because I kind of need to go somewhere and go do something, right? So
sometimes it helps to like go on location so you're not distracted as easily.
Yeah, otherwise you're sitting at home, fire up the TV, sink in the lazy boy once in a while, but next thing you know, you're sleeping, right? But yeah, for me, I actually have to leave the house, go somewhere to go do something. Even if it's an hour and a half, it's an hour, 45 minutes, whatever it is, at least I made it to the gym. I'm there. And it actually helps, I'm looking at people like, with big guns like Jamie, just to see them out there, right? They're lifting, and
it's motivating.
It's motivating.
A little competition, a little healthy competition.
Little competition. Mm-hmm. Right now, I'm probably about 15 to 20 minutes of cardio every single day.
Okay.
A little bit of weightlifting. But my goal is to get my cardio probably about to 40 minutes a day, somewhere around there. Just to help my cardiovascular, just everything, right? So I actually had a person when I used to just lift strictly. I would just hit the weights and I would leave, right? I would never do cardio. And he goes, so you're going to work out every single muscle besides your heart.
Yeah.
So same thing with when you're a truck driver, right? You're sitting behind that wheel. Well, I guess I don't know how many muscles you could work while sitting on the seat, but it goes back to health. But you got to work out your heart. So if you're getting those steps in every single day, actually Harmon, have you seen Harmon lately?
Yeah, he's done amazing. Yeah,
I think he's about 50 pounds down, and I think he's walking like 7,000 steps every single day.
Dang.
So I think he even has a walking pad behind his desk. So it makes a big improvement. Yeah. Just your energy every single day.
So every little bit counts, whatever your program is going to look like, whether it's just a slight change in your daily routine, or if you're going to challenge yourself, kind of like Harmon and Harry have been doing recently. Think about what you're currently doing and see if you can make a change for the better. Let's talk about padlocks, enforcer locks. We've been having this ongoing conversation about challenges in transportation, cargo theft, and we've taken steps, and we talked about it in our last episode a little bit, but I figured I'd just give them a quick update. We've decided to deploy enforcer padlocks. Is that happening fleet-wide? Is that with a strategic group? What can you tell us about that so far, Harry?
Yeah, so every single driver is actually going to get assigned a enforcer padlock. It'll have a serial number on it. So we just got to make sure we're actually putting those on the trailer. The biggest thing here is to reduce the seal breaks. At the end of the day, we do get hit with those cargo claims, and it sucks because it wasn't the driver's fault. He was sleeping in the truck, and next thing you know, he wakes up in the morning, goes to the back, and my seal's broken. Next thing you know, he's wasting another 2 or 3 hours because you got to get a police report, go through all the channels that the customer wants us to. So what we did, with the help of Jeff Friz and myself, we went and made a decision and said, look, we're going to go and get everybody a padlock. It's going to be with the serial number. So if you do lose your padlock, just call it in and say, hey, I left it on this trailer. Hopefully we could get it back to the terminal. So we get you another one, or we can get you the same one back. But yeah.
Cool. So if a driver's in need of a padlock, where can they actually get them? From the shops? Are they at all 3 shop locations currently?
So we haven't deployed, or we're still waiting on our delivery for the padlocks. So we'll have a list. I don't know if you guys want to go ahead and reach out to your DM and let them know, hey, I'll go ahead and pick mine up in either in Lathrop, Albany, or Pacific. Whatever's easier for you guys. And we're not going to go and, make sure, we're going to make sure everybody receives a padlock, but we're not going to say, hey, you could only go to Lathrop to go get your padlock. So if you're passing by Albany, go grab it there. We'll try to, divide them up as equally as we can. And then the guys that don't get them, then we'll have to figure out how to get them theirs ASAP.
And so as soon as they arrive, we'll probably send out some fleet-wide communication letting you know they're ready to be picked up, and then swing through the shop of choice, and then we'll make sure we get you signed in and signed out, and that will be your padlock assigned to you. And then when you're under a load, padlock that thing up, and when you're ready to leave that load at a customer or at a drop yard, relay yard, you'll remove that padlock and take it on with you onto your next load.
Absolutely.
Nice.
So can you use this padlock to go and store your empty?
Heck no! No, please. I know that's like a driver's favorite little trick, and we preach against it on day one. Don't use CHEEMA trailer seals. Don't use this new Enforcer padlock to save yourself a trailer and thus negate the availability of that trailer for another driver, especially if it's going to be more than just a 10-hour break. I mean, I've seen drivers sit under trailers for a weekend, drivers sit under a trailer for a 3-4-hour reset. And again, a reminder that if that trailer, just like the driver, right? The drivers always say, if my wheels ain't turning, I ain't earning, which I agree with 200%. However, same is true for that trailer. If that trailer is empty and sitting under a truck, that thing is not hauling freight, and that trailer is not making money. And if you're off for a weekend, guess what? You kind of just robbed CHEEMA Freight Lines of a day and a half of a money-making unit. So yes, we don't want to be sitting under trailers. We don't want to be saving trailers. If you have a special need, work that out with your driver manager. But when you are on your breaks, you want to be unhooked from that equipment so it can be continue to be circulated and made available for active loads. Good call out. Let's talk now about APUs. There's been some recent conversation about APUs, knowledge, use. Tell me, EPUs and APUs, what is it even for? What is it for?
It's for, so an APU is a pretty much auxiliary power unit. Mm-hmm. We're running electric APUs, and I get a lot of drivers saying, hey, I don't even have an APU on my truck. So I think we've got to go back out and actually go and educate you guys a little bit more and, tell you guys how it works.
Because they all do, except for state cabs. All of our sleeper trucks are equipped with an EPU.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. So just because there's not, there's nothing hanging on the side of the frame rails doesn't mean you don't have an APU.
Where are they geographically located on the truck?
So your tractor actually has 8 batteries on it. On the back of your cab, you'll have this little blower, which is like your AC unit or whatever you want to call it. And then
cabin fan or something?
Cabin fan. And if you pick up your bunk, you'll see a big block underneath it, which is actually your heater. Mm-hmm. And then the other issue that we have is, I guess the drivers that do know how to use them and you know how to use them correctly, they're like, well, mine doesn't stay up for the whole 10 hours I'm sleeping. Okay, cool. Have you notified anyone? No, I didn't want to stop in them at a shop.
Right.
So instead of trying to idle your truck or get around, the systems that we have, let's go ahead and get those APUs fixed, because at the end of the day, what is it, about a gallon an hour that we're spending?
Okay.
Which is another thing, right? So managing your idle times, which we're going to start looking into a lot more, and, identifying those issues. If you guys do have issues with your trucks, we're going to bring you guys in. We're going to say, hey, your idle time's really high. How can we fix, or what causes you to idle your truck?
When you're leaving it running, when you're parked.
Right. So if it's something, wrong with the truck, we need to get it fixed. Let's get that idle time down. Let's put some money back in our pockets as far as the company goes. And hopefully we could, incentivize you guys for keeping those idle times down. also talking about, fuel economy and, idle time, we are deploying True Fuel. Right now, we're just doing a demo. We'll be looking at analytics for the whole entire fleet during this demo, but there will be 20 drivers that we've hand selected to go and run the demo. And I don't know if you're sure, or do you know what True Fuel is?
Yeah, well, what I know of True Fuel is like a fuel optimizer program that just coaches drivers on how to get better fuel economy based on how they use the throttle.
Yep,
So it's going to tell them like you're overutilizing your throttle, you're underutilizing your throttle. Trust the transmission to do its work, and you'll see your fuel economy increase as a result of it.
So hopefully, I mean, with this program, we'll be able to see, driver scorecards and, identify what your ranking is as far as the fleet goes. And maybe those top ranking guys might actually get some money back, right?
Yeah.
We might say, hey,
you're saving us money. You want a little bit of it back?
Yeah, here's $1,000 gift card or whatever it is. So, at the end of the day, we still all need to save money and figure out ways to do it. And the same thing with trying to deploy enforcer locks and, trying not to get cargo claims and those kind of things. But as far as maintenance side goes, we need to save fuel, use our APUs, reduce our idle time. Those are all things I get challenged on weekly, so I'm going to challenge you guys too.
That's right.
To get on
challenge
it too.
Accepted. Hey, so to put a fine point on the EPU APU conversation, I like when I teach orientation or when I'm talking to somebody who is brand new to the world of auxiliary power units, electronic power units. What I like to say is think of it like a generator, like generator power, right? If I'm out in the woods and I'm camping and I want light, if I want heat, if I want something that requires power, that generator is going to provide that power. And so in the same way, these APU EPUs are like a generator. It's extra battery power so that when the truck isn't running, you're not idling the truck, you're not burning unnecessary fuel. Now you're heating or cooling your cabin with the generator power of that APU or that EPU. And like you suggested, because they're electronic, they have about a 10 to 12 hour battery life when fully charged. And as you use them, obviously that battery life drains. But when you fire the truck back up and you end up going back down the road, guess what? That EPU starts charging once again with the tractor batteries now on while you're driving down the road. So that when you take your next 10-hour break, it should be fully charged. That's how they are designed to work. If you are not familiar with how to turn on your EPU, please stop by and visit any one of our shops, Pacific Washington, Albany, Oregon, or Lathrop, California. See Brad, see Tim, see Jay, see Harry, see Ron down there. They'd be happy to show you how to make sure you're using that properly. So again, you're not wasting unnecessary fuel, right?
Yeah, and then another tip, since it is a battery pack APU or EPU, go ahead and set your truck up with the temperature that you want it to before you stop, right? So if you're rolling down the road and you're going to stop in 2 hours and you want it at 70 degrees or you want it at 78 degrees, fire up that heat in the bunk too. Make sure the whole truck is at the right temperature that you want it to before you stop.
Yep.
And guess what? Those batteries will probably last you 15 hours.
Yeah.
Which is,
you're not going to be juicing them so hard.
Yep.
They're just maintaining climate. Good. All right, next topic I'd like to bring up, truck washes. Our trucks are so beautiful. I mean, that CHEEMA green, it's just popping. When it's shining on a sunny day in Southern California, you see that kind of sparkle in the green come alive. I love it. I love a clean CHEEMA truck. And we have an account with Blue Beacon, and we encourage our drivers to take full advantage of that, get the bobtail exterior of the truck washed once a month, once every 30 days. Is that right?
It's once every 30 days, so if you get your truck washed on the 5th, Jamie, what day can you get it washed?
After the next month of the 5th. Did I say that right? After the 5th of the following month.
That is correct. So pretty much if you get your truck washed on February 5th, you probably have to wait until March 5th to get it washed.
And they keep track of that, right? So they
do, yeah.
To honor our request, they keep track of within 30 days they're coming back for a second one. You'd need an override or a special approval from operations. Otherwise, they'll turn you away. So that is one way you can keep your truck washed and beautiful and sparkly green clean. Another way is we make truck washes available at all or 3 of our 4 terminal locations. So at Albany, Oregon, Lathrop, California, and Phoenix, Arizona, we have a wash company on site 1 day a week to wash trucks and trailers while they're busily at work. And so we want to remind you guys of those schedules. And so if you're at one of those terminal locations, simply pull in, let them know you're needing a wash, and they will park the work that they're doing. They'll finish the trailer that they're working on, and they will make time to get you queued up on their list so that your truck can shine once again. So let's walk them through the terminal truck wash availability. So let's go north to south, starting with Albany, Oregon. What day of the week would they find the wash company in Albany?
Yeah, Albany's on Mondays. I think the guy shows up around like, I want to say 10 a.m.
Okay.
Sometimes it's noon. But
Yeah, mid-morning.
yeah, it's mid-morning
Okay.
until he's done finishing all the equipment that's in the yard.
Sounds good.
And then down in Lathrop, they show up around 4 a.m. in the morning and then normally go around till noon, sometimes 1, sometimes 2. Just depends on how much pieces of equipment we have in the yard. Pretty much every truck and trailer gets washed in the yard. So
That's a lot of equipment.
it's a lot of equipment.
Tell me about Phoenix now.
Yeah, so Phoenix, they come out on Wednesdays, and it's around 4 o'clock in the morning till there's less piece of equipment there, so it might be until like 11, right around noon. Probably.
While supplies last.
Yeah.
So when they're done, they're done. They're not sticking around waiting for anybody to come in. If they're done cleaning trailers and trucks, they'll be done with their day. They'll call it a day.
Yep.
So keep those trucks clean. Keep them shiny. We love to see it. Let's move on and talk about maintenance. That's your new world. By the way, congratulations on the new promotion. I don't know if you saw our last episode of CHEEMA Connect, but this guy right here is now the VP of maintenance. So under his domain and visage includes the breakdown department and all shop locations. So all the shop managers report up to Harry. And so maintenance and breakdown are near and dear, and the equipment in general, all of our equipment, is near and dear to Harry's heart. And so we want to talk a little bit about our maintenance intervals. So how often should drivers be bringing in their equipment for any kind of service?
So it's every 30,000 miles.
Okay, 30,000 miles. Write that down.
So 30,000 miles, and let's say an average. What's an average driver do every month?
Well, let's see. I'd love to see them do 3,000 miles a week. Would be great to see them do 12,000 miles a month. But if they get at least 10,000 miles in a month, they're eligible for our monthly bonus. So I'd say somewhere between 10,000 and 12,000 miles a month, and the higher the better.
So that roughly puts you at what, every 2.5 months to 3 months.
Okay.
That's when you should be seeing a shop. So if you haven't seen him, bring it on in, right? Sometimes we wait for our DM to go and call and say, hey, I got your service set up on blah 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 day and at this time. Sometimes it's not realistic. Sometimes it is. If you feel like you're going over on your service interval, just call into the shop and say, hey, am I due, or I haven't heard anything from my DM. So we'll get you we'll get you scheduled in, make sure your DM knows and get you taken care of.
Nice. We have a great system, Staris, right, that helps them keep track of work completed. So they have a record of when the last time that thing was serviced and anything that they've got on order, parts that need to be ordered, all that fun stuff. The maintenance team talks to our operations team, and they get regular reports on when a truck is coming due for service. So if you forget, we'd love you to keep track of that. We hope that you keep track of that. But you'll be getting a reminder from your driver manager when you're approaching due for one of those next services.
And I believe they get the report 3 times a week. Your driver manager does. So sometimes they miss it. We know they're busy. At the same time, keep track of your own maintenance also, right? Because that truck takes care of you. You take care of the truck.
And the better you take care of it, the longer it'll last for you. So when it's time to schedule your service, coordinate that with your driver manager. They will be your voice to the shop. So you can always call them directly if you have general questions, but we do like to have all those scheduled in advance. Why, you might ask? Well, if you don't make an appointment, if you don't schedule in advance, you're going to be like a walk-in, right? And a walk-in is usually going to get worked in probably between scheduled appointments. And so if somebody called yesterday or the day before or 3 days ago and said, hey, I'm going to be in on Pacific at noon, they're going to take those scheduled appointments ahead of those depending on how severe the maintenance need is. And so to the best of your ability, if we can plan ahead, that's going to be your most efficient way to get in and out of the shop.
We definitely don't discourage walk-ins. I mean, if you have any issues, bring it on in. Just be patient, because we got guys that are already working on things. We don't want to pull them off because, if it's something small and we got a guy that just got done with the trailer or whatever the case might be, we'll put them on your truck. get whatever you need done and get you back on the road. We don't like pulling off guys that are doing services because we don't want them to forget, what they're doing on the other guy's truck. Next thing you know, we miss something.
Right.
But
Finish what you started.
Finish what you started, get it done, and that's why it's very important to make an appointment. But same thing, if you got something going on with your truck, don't be discouraged. Don't be
patient.
Just be patient.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does take a little longer, but we'll get you in as soon as possible. But we got to get those things addressed as they come up. Take care of it now instead of going down the road and the issue is much larger.
Yeah, just compounds it. Let's talk real quickly about regens, regenerating the truck. What's the purpose of a regeneration? So the truck is designed to do a regeneration on its own. It's an automatic feature on most trucks. And what that does is as soot accumulates, they're kind of like a self-cleaning oven. As soot accumulates and it's time, it's accumulated to the point where it's time to burn some of that soot off, a regeneration is designed to take place while you're driving down the highway and burn off that accumulating soot to keep your truck running clean. So this function is designed to keep your truck running clean, and it's designed to happen automatically. But just like any system, systems can fail. And so if it doesn't happen automatically, there is an option to do a manually initiated regeneration. And so if it's time to do that, it's probably wise to talk to somebody in the breakdown department to make sure you're following the appropriate steps. And so that's what I thought we'd talk about here. What are the appropriate steps to consider if you ever need to initiate a manual regeneration? Probably going to take a little bit of time, right?
Yeah, it's going to take sometimes it takes roughly from 10 minutes, sometimes it's 30 minutes, sometimes it's 40 minutes. It all comes back to what your idle time on that truck is.
Oh, interesting how that comes full circle.
It's a full circle, right? So most of the time, the truck does regenerate going down the road. It all depends. Yeah, it does depend on your idle time. If you have higher idle times, you're going to end up regenerating your truck a lot more. Your truck won't do it on their own because guess what? There's a lot more soot in there to burn off. So,
but again, it's designed to happen automatically, right?
It's designed to happen automatically. What's going to happen is if you don't let the regeneration complete, your truck's actually going to go into like a limp mode or
it's going to derate.
It's going to go to a derate. So what that derate's going to do, it's probably going to let you go for a couple of days, and next thing you know, your truck will be derated to 50 miles an hour. And then it will say, all right, you could drive it for 50 miles for 60 minutes, you get it to the nearest shop, and after that, it's going to go down to maybe 40 miles an hour, and then 30 miles an hour, then guess what?
That's going to affect your mileage production. It's going to affect your paycheck.
Yep.
So, if you ever have to do a parked regen, the couple of things that I always advise drivers, number one, bank a little bit of time. It could take, 10, 30 minutes to up to an hour. Number two, don't be near anything flammable because it's burning. It's burning to clean. And if you're near dry grass or something else that might be flammable, it could be fire hazard. So just be aware of that. Be on dry pavement and then allow for at least about an hour's worth of time so you're not making anything late to deliver.
And you'll know when you're done regenning is obviously your RPMs go down to a normal level. They're not up way high and your truck's not, making a huge sound, right? So it's pretty easy to know when it's done. Yeah.
It's a win-win. This has been a fun episode. Hey, I've enjoyed this. I want to remind folks before we say farewell that if you're ready to join a carrier that was just recently recognized as TCA Elite Fleet 2025. If you want to apply to CHEEMA Freight Lines, you want to join Team CHEEMA, go to teamcheema.com. You can apply directly right there. If you'd rather talk to a recruiting specialist to get some questions answered, give us a call at 844-424-3362, which is also 844-4CHEEMA. Give us a call. We'd love to see if you're a good fit for our company. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Harry, thanks for joining the program, sharing your knowledge.
Thanks for having me.
Love hanging out with you. Everybody stay safe out there, and we will see you next time.